Welcome, everybody, to Thought Leadership Thursday. I'm Mark Florka, Bakerpedia's podcast host for Baked in Science podcast, and I have Dr. Schifrin with me here today of Decarbonator. Welcome, Dr. Schifrin.
Thank you, Mark.
Excellent. You have an interesting product. You've won numerous awards through IBIE and various baking organizations. And tell us a little bit about the basics of your equipment and the product that you're offering.
Well, Mark, our product is called the Decarbonator, as you can see behind me. And we have several sizes. And it's a heated soak tank. Right? Here's one of our sort of medium sizes. It's our 85-gallon unit. The basic principle is the tank gets filled up with water to the fill line. There's a basket inside, and then we put in our proprietary, safe, environmentally friendly carbonzyme detergent, and the entire contents of the box or two boxes goes into the unit. And the unit gets switched on, and then it stays on for an entire month at a time. And that's
awesome.
Right. So that's one of the reasons that we won the Sustainability Award from the IBIE several years ago, because this is a very sustainable product. If you're only filling up your unit once a month, there's huge
So now, and just what roughly in gallons or liters, what is the capacity of the small tank that you have there behind you?
So this one that I've just shown you is our 85-gallon. The one next to it, which is just a little smaller, is the 40. The 40-gallon takes 26 sheet pans at a time. And just to give you an idea of capacity, and the one that I've just pointed out to you will take like 52 sheet pans at a time.
Okay.
So, it can obviously, the capacity is, it ranges depending on what kind of customers we're selling to. Is it a small bakery or a very big production bakery?
Well, the other thing that brings to my mind, in thinking of sustainability and the environment and things of that nature, is that now you're going to have to, it's fantastic that it lasts for a whole month. But after that month, you also have to discard it. So now you do not have to do anything special to the water. You don't have to treat it before you put it into the drain, because It's just an enzyme, right? It's
a detergent, and it's environmentally friendly. It's safe, on equipment. It's safe for people, and obviously safe for the environment.
That's important to know. That's really important to know. So let's back up a little bit and sort of let's help everybody understand. Besides just this is not like just Dawn soap to clean your pans kind of thing. It's not just about cleaning, but some of the things, if you have carbon on your pan, where does that carbon come from, and what are some of the, I guess, the detrimental disadvantages of having carbon on your pan? So can you speak to that a little bit?
I think everybody in the industry knows that carbon buildup, it really starts off with oils, fats, oils, and grease. And over time, it builds into, a thin layer of carbon, which is this black. This is a sheet pan from one of our customers. I won't mention who, but this is before and this is after. Maybe an overnight soak or for the very first time. So remember that the items stay in the tank for a while until the carbon is removed. But again, this is the carbon, right? So carbon is an insulator, right? Which means that it needs the heat is obviously uneven depending on how unevenly the carbon has built up. Plus, it obviously has some dimension to it. So it actually encroaches on the baked product. So like a bread pan, for instance, the loaf of bread will actually it'll be altered by the amount of carbon that is in the pan. And some of our customers who didn't know that we existed, when they start cleaning, some of those pans are really, they've got buildup of carbon from years of buildup. And
it's
the main reason is that it's very difficult to remove. And
and it's the polymerization of the fats, so that it is very tightly locked together. And of course, as you said, it causes insulation, and it's going to make things stick even more. So if this is like on your bread pans or muffin pans and things like that, where you're not necessarily have the opportunity to have a liner, everything's going to start to stick, or you're going to have to waste putting even more lubricant on, which is then going to polymerize even more, and you just make the whole thing worse. So yeah, that's really interesting. And so you've mentioned already, and we've kind of talked about, and one of the things I see here is that I come from a background of a very strong safety culture, and a big part about safety, or hazard analysis and things like that, is to avoid the danger in the first place, right? So there's a lot of these do-it-yourself solutions out there where you're putting some chemicals onto the product to eat away at this polymerization and peel it off, but they are extremely corrosive. And then many of them simply you can't use on aluminum, because the aluminum then starts to degrade. And the people don't realize how serious the burns can be from these on your skin. And not only that, in inhaling these things, the fumes is extremely dangerous, right? And so your product has none of this. So it is really, it's, for any operation that is trying to not only maintain clean pans that function properly, this is also getting rid of a safety hazard and being able to do things safely and protect the employees.
Correct. Well, we were talking about the awards that we won. Mm-hmm. The second one that we've won is we won an award for sanitation. So the first one was for sustainability, and this is for sanitation. So not only does it actually cleans more effectively than any other method, but because it operates at 185 degrees, which is it's still a relatively safe temperature to work with, but it's above the temperature that is required for sanitization. Yeah. So any of the items removed from our units just get a light rinse, and then they're ready to go into production.
Yeah, and it's anybody who has listened to Dr. Lynn and I will know we often get inquiries about mold control, and it's about cleaning, it's sanitation, it's contamination, and this will remove another contamination point by having those trays coming out after 185 degrees. I mean, there's going to be no bacteria left on there that has survived at all, right? That is fantastic. And so if I install one of these pieces of equipment, and now I need to have a monthly supply of your enzyme, how does that work? Do you work through distributors, or how do you have that set up?
I mean, we supply directly, or if our customers are working through distributors, we supply them too. But usually, typically, when we send a unit out, we send out a minimum of 3 months supply of the Carbonzyme. Okay. And then many of our customers are on quarterly order ship, and we just send it out every quarter. So, but let's put this in perspective. For our 40-gallon, you're going to have 3 boxes like this that will last for 3 months, right? And then we've actually got a monthly timer that shows you that the Carbonzyme needs to be changed out. And so it's very, very, very simple to operate. It doesn't require any a water line or anything like that. It's on wheels. It just gets filled up with water, from a hose, or it can be wheeled to the water source, and then it gets plugged into the wall, and then it works. I wanted to mention that earlier I said that we have several sizes. So one of the very big advantages of our very large tank, it's very unique in that it can clean a double baking rack. So in addition to the pads, it can clean. Now that cleans very, very effectively. And those baking racks, I mean, you've seen them in many of the bakeries that you go
in. Yes, yeah.
And in the supermarkets, it's unsightly, it's unhygienic. The flakes come off the racks and onto the baked products. And that obviously is an absolute no-no for the end user. So we have huge capacity with the very big racks. I mean, with a very big 500 gallon, but also production, quantity.
Yeah, well, I'm, Dr. Sheriff, I'm up here in Canada, and so, when winter ends, there's all these spring rituals, and I can remember many a times in April taking all the racks out back into the parking lot and scrubbing them and cleaning them and trying to get, so through the winter that's not an opportunity of much you can do, other than wipe them down. So to have a piece of equipment where you can just roll them in and pull them out the next morning, that they're nice and clean, that would be fantastic, right? And
also, they banned that kind of operation outside in the parking lot in California some time back. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, well, I'm old, right? So I go back to before regulations. But yeah, no, that's incredible. And so I see also you also can use this for like pizza pans and fry baskets and things like that.
Correct.
Do you have a small version of the enzyme that you can actually clean out a deep fryer? That you can fill the deep fryer and put your enzyme in to clean it out?
Oh, you there still?
Yep.
Oh, our unit works. It has to work with the actual unit, with the heated unit, right? So you have different sizes, but this is not something that you can just use the Carbonzyme on its own in a sink at home or something like that. It has to work with our unit.
Yeah, but like how in a well fryer, like a deep frying well, for whether it be for donuts or for French fries, there's also polymerization that builds up.
Yes.
And the solutions today essentially are, again, rather corrosive, where you fill the basin with water and turn on the heat and put a packet of this product in there, and it's called boil out, right? So you literally boil it out. That might be something where a small quantity of the enzyme might be useful on something like that too, where you could put a tablespoon or a cup in or whatever's needed, let it boil for 20 minutes, and then instead of having a corrosive product. So is it something you've ever thought of looking into?
We've thought about it. We have a lot of, we supply the entire industry. So it's not only the bakery industry, and it's obviously overlap with a typical example would be a supermarket, right? They're baking, they're grilling, they're frying. So they would be able to use any of the, you can see some of these items, the fry baskets, the pans, the grills, the hood filters. This is the best hood filter cleaner.
Oh yeah, hood filters. Right? Yeah, I never thought of that. That's amazing.
That's an example of a hood filter that would be in an oven, I think. So it's the most efficient hood filter cleaning system available, right? And it takes like 20 minutes to clean a hood filter in this tank, and obviously that makes a very big difference in any environment, because it keeps everything cool. There's obviously savings on electricity because the motors aren't working that hard. So clean hood filters are really they're essential in any especially a restaurant, because
yes, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I had
it's ignited and you have a fire, and obviously
you can when they're not being cleaned, you can see the grease dripping from them sometimes, which is a scary thought, right? I mean, I've unfortunately I've seen it too often in other facilities, right? I did a lot of tech service for a number of years, and you get to go into a lot of places, and you get to learn a lot, but you also get to see a lot of crazy bad places too sometimes, right?
Mark, just in passing, one of the biggest advantages of our unit, is that, I mean, we've established that carbon buildup on bakery equipment is really really critical, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that carbon is very difficult to clean by hand, okay?
Yep.
And it takes huge labor, or something mechanical or corrosive, chemicals to clean. But ours happens to be a safe way of doing it, with a safe chemical and heat, and the two really, it basically eliminates the need for scrubbing. We had a bakery here in San Diego. They had 3 people in the dish room, permanent staff cleaning sheet pans. We put in our 85-gallon, and they freed up 2 people. They used them somewhere else, right? So
perfect. Yep.
So now they have clean equipment, even cleaner than it was before, and they've actually saved a huge amount of labor. And especially in today's environment, labor is really getting more and more difficult to.
Yeah, you improve efficiencies. It's not about job elimination. It's about improving the efficiency in the bakery, right?
Right.
And to like you've said to that point, is that a lot of bread bakers who use the pans, they will sometimes have to have 2 sets of pans, or lose efficiency because they've got to send a third or a quarter or half of their pans out to be sandblasted, is how they remove the polymerized oil, and then reglazed, so that nothing will stick and bring the back. And that takes usually a week to 10 days to get those done. So this would be something where you don't have to deal with those bottlenecks, and it's far less costly than reglazing the pans all the time. And you just run them through your decarbonator. That's an amazing opportunity. And you get better bakes, better thermal profiles, better, you improve so many things just by keeping them clean.
Absolutely. And maybe you can even squeeze in an extra bake cycle. And obviously that would help a commercial bakery immensely.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Wow, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate your time and coming on and telling us about this. So how is there anything else we haven't covered, Dr. Schifrin, that you want to make sure that we are aware of?
No, I think that we've covered it all. I think that you've conveyed to everybody watching, how they'll benefit from this product. Many people don't know about this. It's still, we've been around for many, many years, and still people say, wow, I didn't even know that this existed. And it dramatically changes their lives. And we have had so much feedback of customers who are so grateful that they have our product, because it's just made such a big difference, to their bottom line.
Yeah, I've had general awareness of it. I didn't know all the details that I've learned today, and that's like I am. One of my mantras that I harp on a lot is, every day that I learn one new thing, it's been a good day. And so this is, you've made me given me a good day, Dr. Schifrin.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot more than one new thing here. This has been very informative.
That's wonderful. I just want to show you, this is a page from our brochure, which is on our website. All this information is a lot more detailed on our website. And you can just see the different sizes. This one here, you can see it's a huge unit. And for massive production, just thousands of sheet pans can be processed in a very short time. And and this is a photograph of all the different sizes that we have.
And so your website is D-Carbonator, is that the website?
D-Carbonator.
Yeah.
Or ChemxWorks.
ChemxWorks, great, excellent. Yeah. So that people can find you, right? And next thing you know, in a couple of years, it'll be, Alexa, clean the pans, right? And it'll be see, she says she can't do that, right? We'll have to update her. No, this has been very informative, and in the theme of our Thought Leadership Thursday, we thank you for your leadership in the industry, and something that is sustainable and safe and environmentally friendly. That is, it brings safety to all of our employees and colleagues, as well as doing a great job of making things more efficient, and at the same time, it's safe for the environment, and it helps with sustainability and stuff. So I really appreciate your time for coming on, and look forward to chatting some more with you again in the future.
Great. Thank you, Mark.